Assalamualaikum students, how are you? I hope you will be fine and doing very well for your P1. As I advised you in my first video lesson that there would be a great game in this paper one. So I am here for you for this episode number 2, and this episode will help you out a lot because I have splitted all the topics into further sub classifications. So, coming back to my topic, I have divided this all into five main categories. These classified categories are basically memory recall MCQs, true and false. I will explain what does it mean by true and false. Then graphical analysis questions, then calculations, and then facts-based questions. So these all are actually the questions which are included in your paper one. So when I talk about memory recall questions are basically all those questions which includes your equations, definitions, then facts and laws and principles and SI based units and prefixes and estimations and so on. There are so many questions which are based on your memory. For example, if don't think that memory recall means I'm appreciating your cramming of some topic. No, but memory recall means you should memorize, you should keep the things in your mind that what is being asked in your topic and how to tackle that. So this consists of almost 40% of your MCQs, which consist of any aspect of your memory. In that, I will put the laws and principles at the first, because first of all, if a law or a principle is directly asked to you, it is directly memory recall question. If it is asked in some sort of information handling, then it is memory recall question. If it is asked in such a way that it is used in some understanding and information handling, then again it is memory recall question. So is there any fact which is based on some memory? For example, you have to know that if the object is falling freely, or object is having free fall and air resistance is negligible, it is mentioned over there, it means it would have a constant acceleration throughout, it would have a uniform acceleration throughout. Similarly, if an object is being dropped from very small height, if the object has some significant mass, significant volume, all these things should be in your mind. This means memory recall. So memory recall does not mean that you have to cram something. Memory recall means you have to recall your ideas, that what you have learned related to these topics. So the facts are also based on the memory. Then you have definitions. Although there are not a big contribution of the definitions, but they are at least 2 to 3 questions are which include some sort of definitions, some sort of SI based units and all that stuff. So remember this thing, that this 40% is entirely based on your memory. Rest 60% is divided into two classifications. One is the graphs. Here I will include some specification that the graphs are not entirely out of the memory recall. For some graphs, you have to know that what was the fact behind it. So they are linked with that. They are actually linked with memory recall. But foremost, these graphs are based on, or these graphs are classified as the critical thinking. For this portion of your MCQs paper, you should have very good grip at the topic. You have to be mastered in your variable relations, physical quantities relations, how one physical quantity is linked with the other, how one physical quantity is varied with the other. Actually this all is linked with your equations. If you remember, if you know the equations and you can link the equations from one to other, then it's quite easy for you to handle the graphs. Okay, and then these graphs have some perfect ideas, relations, that what gradient or what is the gradient of the graph, or what will be obtained from the gradient of the graph, what is the area of the graph, and how can we calculate the area of the graph, or what its area is equals to which other physical quantity. And third important thing which is basically asked from your graph is the behavior of any mechanism. For example, the gradient, variation in the gradient, values of the gradient, they give you specific behavior. Specifically if I talk about kinematics, from the graphs you can identify the motion of the objects. From the graphs you can calculate some physical quantities, like displacement time graphs give velocity time graph will give acceleration, and their velocity times area will give displacement, and speed time area will give you distance, and so on. So this all is basically to somehow related with your memories, to somehow related with handling the equations and relations, and to link them together. So next part is the 40% of your exam is entirely conceptual. So here I want to explain one thing. Remember, conceptual does not mean that they are from any other world. They are the questions which are from the available scenarios of your daily life. But for those questions, for those MCQs, first, your common sense is very important. Secondly, your observations are very important. And third, what I put the most important is your visualization. When you are able to visualize the concept, it means you are really closer to your real answer. For example, if you are having a question related to the densities, and that question is handling with the density of some solids, you should keep a line or a standard for your measurements or for your answers. For example, if the object's density is expected to be greater than the density of the water, and your answers are drifted from the answers lower than the density of the water and then equal to and then higher than, then you should have a common sense that this is a metal, so its density would be greater than the density of the water. In the same way, if I talk about the pressures, horrible questions are asked from your pressure topic. So in that you should open your eyes that whether here the pressure would be more or less than the atmospheric or equal to the atmospheric, how does that atmospheric pressure works, and so on. So it is actually not the topic or not the video where I have to explain all these graphs or all these questions, but generally I can say that you have to keep your eyes open and you have to keep your brain linked with the daily life concepts. Then the last part related to this distribution is basically the subtopical division. Here I have shared 50 50 50 50%. What does it mean? That these three portions what I have mentioned over here in this slide, they contribute 50% in your syllabus, in your MCQs. 5 to 6 MCQs are from physical quantities. Physical quantities can be included SI based units, homogeneity of equation, correctness of equation, prefixes, and all that stuff. Then measurements, specifically uncertainties, precision, accuracy, absolute uncertainty. These all are basically measurements. Then CRO, this is measurement. Then vectors, remember one thing, just stop over here. Vector does not mean that you will be asked that what is the resultant vector or what is two vectors are given and you have to figure out the direction and magnitude of the resultant. No, it includes all the forces, it includes all velocities, it includes all momentums, it includes all moments. So vectors have a lot of contribution. What I have included over here, that 5 to 6 questions are those which are purely related to this. So remember this thing, if you are gripped with vectors, you will not have any issue in forces, you will not have any issue in momentums, you will not have any issue in moments. So the next part, which is 7 to 8 questions which are from kinematics, momentum, and forces. As I told you, kinematics is linked with momentum. So if you are good at kinematics, you can easily handle with the momentum questions. And if you are very good in the momentum questions, then it will help you out to find out the relation of momentum with the forces. And specifically I will talk about that if vectors are gripped, resolving is gripped, inclined planes are gripped, equilibriums are gripped, then forces have no issue for you people. It's really a easy game. And then let's link this all with work energy and power. So if you are good in kinematics, good in momentum, energy will be nothing for you, because this all is either kinetic energy, either potential energy, change in kinetic, change in potential, loss in kinetic, gain in potential, and all that stuff. So work energy power is basically have a foundations with your kinematics, momentum, and forces. So be well equipped with these topics. You will not have any issue with these 4 to 5 questions, which are from your elastic potential energy, deformation, work power energy, efficiency, and pressure. So I hope that this all general physics portion is very clear to you people. Now I will talk about the next 50. This is basically the slide topic is 50-50 game. Actually, it's your choice. You want to select the 50% what I have explained first, or you want to choose this 50%. So this 50% consists of 9 to 10 questions of waves, superposition, and standing waves. Probably this variation is not a standard that varies. So that's why I have not segregated that how many questions are from waves. Usually 2 to 3 questions from waves, and 3 questions from superposition, and then 3 questions from standing waves. So in this way, 9 to 10 questions are from your waves and oscillation, waves and superposition and standing waves. Then 7 to 8 questions are from current and electricity and DC circuits. So again, it does not have any fixed split or division that which questions would be from which topic. Almost 2 questions from your electrical quantities, 3 questions are from your voltage divider circuits, and then 2 to 3 questions which are linked with complicated circuits like Kirchhoff's laws and parallel and series combinations and all that stuff. And then last very small portion, but it is a short portion, that is atomic structure and particle physics. There are 2 to 3 MCQs from this. They're quite easy, but they are mostly based on your information, mostly based on your memory. So it's not a big issue to handle these 2 to 3 questions or 2 to 3 MCQs, but they are your grade changer. So I request you all that when you people are actually handling with these MCQs, keep the grades in your mind, that what's your destination, what's your task, what you want to achieve. So if I say that what is the percentage contribution of this paper? So as I explained earlier, that the 31% contribution or weightage of your paper one is there in your entire AS syllabus. So remaining 69% is from your theory and practical. So this 31% is the game changer, as I have stated earlier. Now if you people want to achieve A grades, because why I'm striving for this, why I'm struggling for you, why I'm going to put my entire efforts with all experience with in these videos, because I want A from you. And this A means if you keep your targets high, you can achieve them, because without dreams you cannot achieve your goals. You should have a dream grade. You should have some goal for you, and that goal should not be less than A. Keep this thing in your mind, that you can score A. Every student can score A, but if you plan well, then you will score well. Remember this. These are linked. Now for your A grade, the average A grade for last 15-20 years, that is 27 to 29 MCQs. That must be true. It varies. It's not a fixed value what I'm going to share with you, but it's an average. Average means that varies from lower level to higher level. The lowest threshold was actually 25 MCQs correct with A, and then highest was, as I remember, it was 34 to 35. But on average, your grades should be, your MCQs should be 27 to 29 MCQs should be correct. Now, cutting short, if you are gripped with general physics, you can easily score 16 to 80 marks and over there. Remaining 10 marks can be grasped from your waves, current, electricity, and atomic structure. So it's very easy. Grip one portion and perform on average in the next, in the second portion. So your scores are ensured. Remember this, and your grade is ensured. Now, if you select part 2, as I mentioned, part 2 consists of waves and superposition and standing waves, current, electricity, and DC circuits, and atomic structure and nuclear physics. It would be quite easy for you. You can easily achieve 20 marks over there, and then remaining 10 marks can be achieved from the mechanics and your general physics. So, depending upon your grip, depending upon your flow, select your portion for performance, select your ring for your performance. If you are good in waves and superposition, master it and get the average grades from the others. If you are good in current, electricity, then master it and then perform on average in the other. Similarly, mechanics, no way that you will not be able to handle this MCQs monster. It would be quite easy for you to score A. Now, for B, you need 21 to 26 MCQs to be done correctly. For these 21 to 26 MCQs to be done correctly, it's quite easy. Just grip one portion. Just if one portion is gripped, your B is deadly sure that you will get B. But as I told you, B is not your task. Your task is A. But if in case of any situation that is not under your control, then at least 18 to 20 MCQs can be done by each and every student. I believe this thing, that the student who have gone through the syllabus, practiced some of the papers, a few years, the students are surely able to score C grade. You people should be well equipped with this. Now, last thing what I wanted to explain here, that unfortunately, if there is a chance that you are not able to attempt all the questions, then decide by yourself, by common sense, that what MCQs are to be done. I will advise you, don't leave any MCQ unattempted because there is no negative marking. So just attempt all the MCQs with random options, not all the options together. Hope this will help you out, and I believe that you people will be scoring A, and then in comments you will share after your result that yes, we acted upon and we scored. Thank you very much.